Provo, Utah. This is the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast with your hosts, Joseph DeGolier and Caleb Schweiss. This is Ultima Final Fantasy.
The ultimate speaker blower Final Fantasy. Welcome, boys. Slow down on the guitar. Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy.
The Ultimate
Final Fantasy Podcast. I am your host, Caleb.
I'm Joe.
And today we're going to be talking about Rise of the Zilart, the first Final Fantasy expansion. Don't worry, though, guys. This is not a normal review episode. We're only going to use that as the discussion segment. We do have news. We do have reviews. We do have questions.
Yeah, it's just an expansion. So it's not like if you want to hear about 11.
Yeah.
We have 4 episodes.
Much to many people's dismay, there's a lot of 11 content out there from us.
And we're going to bring a little bit more, but once again, it's only going to be part of the discussion segment of the show. So if you must fast forward.
There's going to be some good news, some great questions, some good discussions based on that. There's actually a fair amount of news and some trailers that we're going to check out here too.
A shitload of news.
Yeah, so don't skip the episode just because it's got Rise of the Zilart in the name.
I wonder how many people who didn't play 11 know that that's an 11 expansion.
That's true. They're probably like, oh, what is that? And then they like glaze over like, fuck those bastards.
But first, Schweiss, where are you in Final Fantasy 11?
I am at the beginning of Chains of Prometheus. Actually, we're about halfway through, I believe.
We're almost halfway. I know we're somewhere in Quest 3 of 8.
Yeah, this one's a beefy one though.
Beefy in comparison to Rise of the Zilart, yes.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I mean this quest within the this mission itself.
Number 3 is kind of big
within the chains. So far, it's been fun. It's not. I don't know, man. Like I'm not loving it as much as I was thinking I was going to. Like thinking about 11, I was like, oh man, I was having like wet dreams to get back to Final
I'm
Fantasy
loving
11.
it right now.
I'm enjoying it, but it's not like this earth-shatteringly fun thing. We're literally going from place to place doing these little things.
I will tell you though, epic frustration. I know you have to stream your shit over here, and you have things like windows. You only have 2 monitors. I know you have windows that are like strategically placed along your screen in order to do that, and you never pull up a map. And I got to tell you, I think one of the things that's probably not making this very fun is getting lost all the time.
Well, it's not that I'm getting lost. It's the me walking away for a few minutes and you guys not waiting for me. That's what's making me fucked over. Which is you fuck.
How's that
not
mean?
Waiting. Because it's not me. I have shit I have to do.
You just not paying attention?
No, it is. It's me going to like fuck with my cat because he keeps getting out and like.
Oh, well, say I'm going to fucking with my cat.
I do. There's just this thing where you don't hear anyone else speak.
I'm hearing you speak right now.
Yeah, right now. We're not talking about right now, though. No, that did happen the other night, and then I was like, okay, where do I go?
Because I'm looking at your monitors right now, and I'm seeing a way you could do it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's great for you.
Yeah. Well, it's great for you, too.
I want to set up a peasant stream.
Because my God, please God, get the map for do it on your phone if you have to. I think there's an app called FF11 Maps.
There might be. I don't know. I'll look. I'm not having trouble with the map. It's mostly the guide. I just don't have the guide pulled up. And that would have saved us on a few occasions. One occasion where we were sitting in front of a door waiting for the day to switch over for a quest. And then we figured out that we didn't need to wait the day. So we literally wasted 40 minutes of our lives just waiting for
40 minutes late, too. Everybody was...
Yeah. And I stopped the stream, and I was like, guys, I'll be back in like 20 minutes. We'll start it up again. And then I kicked it back on, leaned back, and then just waited another 15, 20 minutes, and it was nothing. And I was like, wow, I wish I would have had to guide up.
Both me and Krinital read it wrong.
It's fine. I'm not, like, upset. It's just like, fuck. I wish I would have had it. But I'll try to finagle it and see what I can fit. Or if I can get a third monitor in here, that would be just amazing. I can, too. I just need to get a cord. I'll probably run down and grab that. So yeah, 11's going great for us. We're doing some pretty good progress in the amount of time that we played, which is a fair amount, honestly. It's like 3 nights a week, like 5 hours a night. So we're hitting this thing pretty hard, I'd say.
So I brought this up on Nude Clan, but in case you don't listen to Nude Clan,
Which you should.
You fucking should, because it's the best show ever.
Yeah.
But we were in fact listed on a YouTube video that said we were the best show ever. Nude Clan. This show was listed as number 6.
Yeah, so
Think about that. Think about how fucking awesome this show is, and then think about 6 shows better.
yeah. Well, 5 shows better.
5 shows better.
5 times the quality.
There you go. Yeah, if they double.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they do. We'll have to ask next time we get them on. But
we will. That's Pixel Edge, by the way. You can check them
Yes.
out. So I learned something about one of our listeners this week, and I'll forego saying his name on this podcast. At least, I'm not even his real name anyway, because I don't know his real name.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, this listener, there was the what?
No, I just coughed.
Oh, you just coughing? Okay.
Yeah.
We were playing certain sections of Chains of Promathia, and there were some female characters.
With some decent models.
Yeah, sure, yeah, no.
I'm like, all right, this one's a little more important.
I learned 2 terms. Well, I learned 1 term, but I like to say I learned 2. I was he started talking about how there were all these pictures of her on this website, and I'm not sure what term he used then, but I was just kind of like, wait, what website? And we found out that in fact it was an anime porn website that he frequented.
Yeah.
And apparently this Final Fantasy XI character was on there. And I called it anime porn, and I would like to say that another member of the group corrected me and said, no, it's called hentai. For you guys out there, for you special people out there who watch this thing called hentai, the way that someone can tell that you watch hentai, besides, just saying, oh, I go to a hentai site, that was one person, is by correcting someone when they say anime porn and saying, no, it's called hentai.
That is telling.
Ding!
Although I knew it was called that too.
I know it's called that too.
Well, then what's the point? The point's moot at this point.
Yeah, but
both
if
of us
someone
knew.
said anime porn, I would not correct them. Like, I would not get excited to correct someone and be like, no, it's called hentai. Say it right. Have some respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you...
So I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
On top of that, I want to explain what a waifu is, because another character, this same person who was on our stream, who I love to death, by the way, the same person who was on our stream, I make fun of you and I make fun of Caleb. It's fine. I think it's fine anyway. Until you're like,
we'll find out if they
from the rafters.
We'll find out if they never show up again. Yeah, I'm naked hanging from the rafters.
I found out I'm finding out these anime term. As you listeners know, especially if you've been listening since the beginning, I do not believe that anime exists. And there's a million fucking rants you can find early on episodes why I don't. But I found out an anime term, and it is waifu. Can you tell me what a waifu fucking is, Schweiss?
A waifu is basically a character. It's like a character that you would take as a wife, but you respect her, so it's not something that you see sexualized. Here's the term, the actual definition on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, that's where actual definitions are
That's
found.
right. A term coined by otaku and weeaboo, and we know how reliable otaku is, alike for their 2D significant others, predominantly anime and video game characters. A waifu, in contrast to a harem, is the love between one man and his one and only waifu. You treat your waifu with the utmost respect and courtesy, and most refuse to even fap to their beloved, seeing the act as an insult to the non-existent woman they have committed themselves to. A spin-off term, husbando, followed for Fujiyoshi, who feels similarly towards male characters. So the waifu is like someone you revere. So like Aki Ross over there. I have not This is getting personal. I have not masturbated to the image of Aki Ross.
I have not masturbated to that.
I have not masturbated to that toaster over there. I have not masturbated to the sound. Oh, well, maybe the soundboard. But no. So Aki Ross could be our fucking waifu. Although it's not that I love her so much that I wouldn't do that. I mean, honestly, come on. I would do that to nothing. But I don't know. That's the symbol for us. That's the thing we see on our streams is Aki Ross in the background.
God, dude, I'm having flashbacks. I'm having flashbacks right now back to Snow College in my Japanese class, and like 20% of the fucking class are these like loud ass anime freaks who I think were only interested in learning Japanese because they wanted to watch their anime without subtitles.
That's
one of the world's hardest languages to learn for English speakers.
That's a weird reason.
And that was like their goal. I thought I was like, okay, all right. And fucking God, those people, fuck. And so like, I'm sure they all had waifus. I'm sure. Yeah. God, It's so weird, dude. I'm floored this week by the information I've received.
Yeah, you know what? I think we should just go on like a racist rant, and then that way we can alienate even more of our audience.
Listen, okay.
In one episode, just like, all right, there's half of it, and then let's squeeze out another little wedge here, another 10%.
I just believe in pretending to be a normal person while hosting a Final Fantasy podcast.
It's tough. It is.
I know.
You know what's even more weird is when you tell someone how much video games we play, and that we aren't ADD. That's another one I've run into. They're like, "Wait, you don't have ADD?" And I'm like, "No. I'm normal."
Perfect. Yeah, I can read a book.
I can do whatever.
I don't have to hyper focus. It's just like normal.
Yeah, like there are times where I'm reading and I'll like get distracted by the noises around me in conversations. So like I'm not hyper focusing on either. I'm getting fucked by one trying to do the other.
But yeah, you can focus. You have that ability.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I can if I were to like go away from the interesting conversation. But shit, maybe I am.
Yeah, maybe you are.
No, really though, it's a weird thing. So
yeah, trying to pretend to be normal while being into this shit. That we're into.
Yeah.
As well as other stuff that me and you are into.
That's right.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd balance. I don't think there's anything wrong with watching animated television shows.
Yeah, no, there's definitely not. Archer's amazing. There's all sorts of great animes.
But the culture around anime fans in the U.S. is fucking weird.
It does get pretty intense.
And all the Japanese students that I met down in Snow College, they were like a bunch of TAs, and then there was this girl I studied with a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Studied.
Unfortunately, yes, studied.
Okay.
None of them were into anime, and they found it kind of weird.
Really?
All the white people in that class were. In fact, I had one that was like, "Oh, do you like anime?" Because she just assumed that I like anime. I'm like, "No," and she's like, "I don't either."
God.
I'm like, thank God.
I don't know. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I haven't found anything so far that's like, okay, I accept it. It's another one of those things that we've both gone off about where it's literally just the animation style and there is no genre. It's not a genre at all. There's stuff that's for kids. There's stuff that's for adults. There's stuff that's like...
There's sci-fi shit. There's little dramas, like family dramas.
It's like saying American cinema, and that's...
Oh, yeah, that's a genre.
American cinema is a genre.
Let's all freak out about American cinema.
Yeah, it's like, how do you do that?
I don't know.
You can't... It's not possible.
This is my Bogart. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bogart means I don't like. What the fuck would you?
I don't know. It's hard to fathom even how it is what it is. Like how you can say I am an anime fan.
Well, in Japan, the term anime just means animation,
right?
So for Japanese people, and they call themselves as these otakus, are really like into the Japanese animation. It's not all animation, it's Japanese animation, right, specifically.
Yeah. Which is odd. Like it's not...
And some people include Korean animation and Chinese animation into the term anime. And I'm like,
That's like saying British
What?
film is the same as American.
So this thing that doesn't exist has no definition except for the fucking people around it.
Yeah.
So
It's odd. Like like we both said, we've both had animes that we've watched that are like fantastic and we love. They're
animated
great.
foreign shows.
Yeah. That's what they call it. They call it animes, and we enjoyed those anime. Doesn't mean we like anime. It doesn't mean I can say, "Oh yeah, I like anime." It's like, well, I've watched one.
I'm indifferent
My fucking life.
I'm indifferent to the medium.
Yeah, it's like whatever. It doesn't.
The style within the medium.
It doesn't mean anything. Is the thing. It doesn't say, "Oh well, it's an anime. It's going to be good." No, it's just fucking drawn.
Can I say also the style is broad?
Yeah, it's
Chibi
all
is anime, right?
Yeah.
And then the 80s movie Akira, which has a totally different style.
Both
Are both under anime? Or what?
Yeah, it's weird.
Anime doesn't exist. It's just a fact, and no one's gonna listen to me, and so it doesn't matter. But god damn it, I have a Final Fantasy podcast, and I can talk about it. So yeah, if you want to know if someone's into hentai, if porn is brought up and animated porn is brought up, just call it animated porn or anime porn and be corrected, and based upon their emphasis of correction, you'll know how into this hentai.
I think I might have corrected you too.
There was someone who corrected me first quickly.
That's true. It wasn't me. Yeah. There was another. But no, I would have corrected you because I would have been like, oh, it's got a name.
Yeah. So, my fellow FF11 players, I love you to death, and I don't care if you're into anime porn. Just remember that the way to give it away
is that exactly.
If you don't want to give it away, is to correct me emphatically. All right, Schweiss.
You ready for some Rise of the Zilart?
I am ready for some Rise of the Zilart. Let's get to some news first, though.
Oh, okay. That's right, news. Jesus.
News.
Ooh, man. There's another episode of that Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood.
And we haven't watched it yet.
No, we didn't. I didn't realize it was out. I should have checked the news a while ago because it's been out for some time. Guys, go check it out. It's called Sword and Shield. I think we'll talk about that next time.
Definitely.
If we should have time.
It depends. Well, if we have another review, then maybe not. Well,
it's not going to take us too long.
See. We'll just see.
Yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it for sure. There's also another. For all you World of Final Fantasy fanboys, there's another chibi gameplay footage video out. And
so if you can, there's a 9-minute gameplay footage video. There's also a 23-minute gameplay footage video that's been released. And then there's been a 1 or 2 minute trailer that's been released.
Right. So far, looking at the trailer, the battle system I think looks fun. I think it's bringing back active time. I'm not really sure what's going on with the characters stacked on top of each other thing that we got going on here.
Yeah, they might explain it in the 9-minute video, but
yeah, but I can't handle their voices either.
Nope.
It's like the other show, but more annoying. If you can imagine Okay, I know this is taking you out of reality here. If you can imagine a more annoying thing than our rival show, that is what this is. To this weird chibi stuff that Joe and I are not really feeling the chibi.
I'm way more excited for 15.
oh well, yeah.
The amount of excited for 15 is like 98% excitement. My excitement bar is filled at 98%, right?
Yeah.
And maybe some good push-ups will fill it up a little bit more. My World of Final Fantasy excitement is it's like a 6.
Really? I think mine's like a 40. I think the battle system does look pretty fun for that game.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm just
yeah.
Why is this coming out a month after 15?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, all right, well, we'll just pull in a couple more bucks.
I do know a couple people, and you know a couple people, Schweiss, that are more excited for World of Final Fantasy than they are for 15.
Who are they? Some of the listeners?
Some of the people who've played with us on 11.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What? Mm-hmm. I've heard 12 Remaster being more exciting.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a big thing, too. But that's not quite in the near future like this.
No, that's a little different, too. That's a game that is good. So it's like, okay, I know this is going to be fun. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Speaking of 15, though, we do have a Final Fantasy 15 reversible cover that has been revealed.
Yeah. So the artwork on the day one edition of the game has been revealed for North America and for Europe.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not really too into the type font they used for the one side. It looks just really lazy. Like they're like, oh, Final Fantasy 15, and it just looks
There is no, you pointed this out to me earlier on the regular box art, not the reversible side that just has the logo against the black.
Right. That one's great.
In the regular box art, there is no Amano imagery with the logo.
Which is bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like the awesome part about them all, except for Nines.
Nines
is fucking dumb looking, but
well, some people like Nine.
It's so wrong though. It's just like, well,
it just doesn't match with the others as well, I think is the thing. Yeah. But it's still
something though.
A piece of artwork with the logo, and the logo on the regular cover is it's plain. And it's like, I mean, it's a little thing. It shouldn't be important, but it's kind of like, oh, this doesn't feel right.
It's just not right, yeah. There's also a little more news on that Mobius Final Fantasy. Apparently, it's going to be coming out on August 3rd to iOS and Android devices.
Speaking of mobile games coming out.
Yeah, free-to-play RPG. They're saying this is going to be the console experience on smartphones. We'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I might throw it on. I mean, I got a new phone recently, so I'm thinking about trying out some of these mobile ones. I won't do a review unless I really love it. But I don't know. I might give them a shot.
Yeah, if you got a mobile review for us guys, it doesn't have to be very long. It could be like 10 to 20 minutes. You just review the game. That's a mobile game. We're waiting for all of them basically. Brave Exvius came out twice.
Yeah, that's right. Have you downloaded that?
I did download it. I have not touched it since I downloaded it.
Oh, well.
I downloaded all the free Final Fantasy games.
Nice.
When I got my new phone last week.
I was looking at it at work on Thursday because it was really boring. It was kind of a slower day for us, and I was thinking about getting it because Pokemon Go was kind of not going. But I was like, I don't know if I want to get into that right now. That's something that might take me forever. So I didn't do it. Yeah. Final Fantasy XIV apparently has topped 6 million cumulative players. This seems really impressive at first. Then you look at the cumulative and it's like, oh, well, that means 6 million people have bought the game and paid for it at least 1 month. They apparently did not count
since the beginning
of A Realm Reborn.
So there's not 6 million players in it now.
No.
I really think there's only 500,000.
Really?
Yeah, because we've gotten weird stats before, and I tend to believe the smaller stats.
Okay.
Because of news stories that we'll get to soon.
Yes.
And so I think there's only about 500,000 people in the game. But 6 million since the beginning, at least because it says it doesn't include free-to-play stuff. So that means, 6 million people
bought the game and paid at least 1 month.
Yeah, so
that's a lot of money.
Fucking ching.
Yeah, that's a good chunk of change. Yeah, so it's definitely been a worthwhile endeavor for Square Enix, even if we don't know any true numbers because, frankly, they don't have to fucking tell anybody, and they won't. Speaking of numbers, there's a very misleading article here titled Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15 has been performing well in Japanese theaters. Now, to me, I'm like, oh, that's good. That means it must be all right. We looked at it, I saw the header.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
This is the problem with headers in articles. I've read through articles and people have commented and it's like, oh, you just read the header, didn't you? Because the header doesn't mean shit half the time.
Not even this article means shit because they go on to say, oh, it's already grossed 105,611,860 yen, Schweiss.
Oh, well, that's a lot of money,
how much the yen is worth?
Isn't it
fucking
shit? Is it like a cent or something like that?
Basically 120 yen is $1-ish.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
it's less than that then.
I decided, I was like, this doesn't seem like a lot. I'm gonna go to Box Office Mojo because they do have a Japan section.
All right. So we went to Japan Box Office Mojo. Is This is opening week.
This is week 2. You can go back. The previous is at the upper left-hand corner of that box.
Okay, all right. This is its opening week.
Opening week. What did it place in number? What's its placement in Japanese theaters?
Now, the strange thing for me is number one.
Opening week.
Number 1 this week in the Japanese theater was a movie about our Independence Day resurgence. Now, we know the foreign marketplace has a hard-on for super CG, right? That's something everybody knows. It's not necessarily Japan. It's normally like China.
Action movies.
They're big into that shit. That was number 1. Number 2 was Oh, wait, no. No, Kingslave was number 9 on its opening week.
Kingslave opened at number 9 in Japan.
Ugh, that's rough.
Ooh.
Now, it is a movie based on a game that's not out yet. So, like, there's not this, oh, yeah, I loved that game mentality to it. It's like, well, why? It's a weird thing, kind of.
The motherfucking article that said it was performing well. Schweiss.
That's...
Okay, opening week, how much did it make?
Opening week, we're looking at a total of, what is that, $353,433. Dollars, yeah. That's not a lot of money.
That's fucking bad.
I know the movie cost more than that. So maybe week 1 was just not a good spot.
Yeah, you think it was one of those movies, one of those rare movies that like opens low and then like slowly builds up?
I have a feeling it is.
Oh, okay. What's week 2?
Week 2 it actually went to number 10. 264,000.
With a total of $907,524 in its first 2 weeks.
So almost $1 million. That's a good amount of money if the movie cost you 30 million? 40,000? Because are you supposed to make like double and then some, and then that's when it's considered a success?
We'll see. Like it's probably gonna make, in its total run, it'll make like $4 million.
I bet you it'll be bigger in the U.S. honestly, but it's only select theaters, and I can't find.
It won't be bigger in the U.S. It'll be like one theater per capital city in each state.
That would be cool. We'd actually be able to see the damn thing. I would go see it in theaters.
Yeah, I would too.
But yeah, that's not a great start. So this Silicon Era article is very misleading. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not a good movie. That just means that it wasn't performing well, and this article says that it is. So I don't know, man. I got my doubts on these news articles. The media is like just wrong here.
Well, it is fan media. There's not that regular media,
right? World of Final Fantasy. Once again, another piece of news. Collector's edition has been announced. It's going to be $120. Looks like we got an original soundtrack. The game itself, obviously, some extra digital content. Looks like a Sephiroth
pop-up book.
A pop-up book. That's kind of a cool thing. That's kind of gimmicky too, though. Special 80-page hardback art book, and then a set of 3 mini figurines.
Well, Schweiss, what price would you put on all that?
I'd probably buy it for $80.
$80? Okay.
I'd pay $80 for that.
Well, that's too bad because it's $120.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if I'm.
Are you that excited for World of Final Fantasy?
Well, no, but I do enjoy collector's editions, and as you mentioned earlier, we were kind of screwed out of 13s, which I would have bought. I had the money back then.
Well,
I was gladly gonna fucking pay.
FF13 only had a collector's edition in Europe, so I hope you Europe fucks enjoyed that.
Yeah. Enjoy. FF7 has been released on Google Play for $16. So if you want to pay way too much for FF7, go on there, get it on your Android phone.
$10 on PSN, but jeez.
But my phone, dude.
My phone, yes.
Yeah.
So that's it for news this week, guys. Let's move on to Rise. Let's rise this Zilart.
Once upon a time, there was an ancient race of people called the Zilart. They wanted to harness the power of the crystals below Vana'Diel to bring about paradise thousands of years ago. But, of course, this plan was being cock-blocked by the Shadow Lord's noise, whatever the fuck that means. Yeah. But, if we recall, we defeated this guy not once, but twice. The first time we played Final Fantasy XI, so his fucking noise is over.
Fuck his noise, exactly.
Yeah.
So, once again, the ancient race of people, the ancients, as you could say, playing a part in a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, it's a common theme for them, I would say.
Yeah, also utilizing the power of the crystals of the planet.
Ooh, that's a biggie from earlier on.
Yeah, it is, and I would like to say that we've seen this before in early Final Fantasy, especially with the first 5 games. Most definitely with the first 5 games.
Yes,
and I know there were a lot of parallels, not only in difficulty, but there's a lot of parallels between 11 and the first few games in the series.
Oh yeah, I mean it's got the wide open fuck you feel of Final Fantasy 1, just like boom, there you are, enjoy.
It's got the job system,
right? FF3,
yeah, it's very open that. And you got to talk to everybody. It's all text boxes again. We haven't seen those since FF9, right?
Mm.
So this is they're just bringing in another kind of Final Fantasy stock storyline here a little bit, at least stock lore.
Yeah,
if anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore in this game. It's heavy with that. So of course, we set out investigating everything, all of this weird shit that's going on. The Zilart themselves, we don't really know a whole lot about them in the beginning of the game. Mm-hmm. We end up meeting up with this old woman from yet another lost civilization. This one's called the Kuluu. They were opposed to the Zilart's plan of paradise and worked with another group to destroy some of their bases and basically sabotage their plan. This led to their entire race to be cursed and turned into freakishly demented renditions of the Tonberry enemies that we know.
Yeah, the Zilart don't seem to be that friendly.
No, they're like the Mummy in the Mummy movies. Like it's this big curse.
Emotep.
Emotep, yeah. Emotep's curse kind of falls on these guys. Although it was kind of cool. Getting this backstory for the Tonberries in Final Fantasy XI. I thought that was very interesting, that they are just a race of people that have just been like warped.
That was a moment in this expansion where I was like, what?
Yeah.
The Tonberries are actually cursed people?
Yeah, it was...
That's crazy.
It was crazy, and it was kind of cool. I was like, oh, I never even thought of, like, why are these things here? What the fuck? How could they have happened? And I guess it's the result of a curse from the Zilart. So the adventure then travels in search of 8 fragments of light, this fucking quest, scattered around the whole fucking planet in these little cement headstone things. You're supposed to bring all of those back to the island of Zepwell, where the Dawnmaidens... oh yes, another race of people who oppose the Zilarts will help guide your path. Now, this quest was pretty stressful. One of the party members left one of them behind, didn't grab one of the 8 fragments, so we had to wait for about 10 or 15 minutes. Not a big deal, but it's like, geez, there were so many
that a few select people in our party have gotten lost all the time.
Yeah. I haven't really gotten lost this time. I've gotten behind.
Yeah, getting behind it's like getting lost.
Well, there's times where you just play before everybody else and then just keep playing also. That's not quite the same. But we always run into issues, and this is one of them. I mean, it's 8 different locations all over the world that we had to go grab these little crystals from the headstones to... two. Just 2. So after we get these fragments of light, we arrive at the Chamber of Oracles, where we fight a trio of Antica before meeting up with the Dawnmaidens. Pretty easy fight. Keep in mind, this is this mission is unlocked way early in the Bastock missions, the nation missions of the game. So all of the bosses here, we were getting, we had Menzara, one of the people we've done a nice little special episode with. He was one-shotting some of these bosses, like it was nothing. I'm talking like one-shotting them and probably doing 1,000 more.
Mouse.
Yeah, so I mean, this stuff was pretty simple. We slaughter those dudes.
We say we, but I think I usually get about 1 or 2 hits in.
Yeah. So this reveals that there's 5 archangels. ARK, by the way, really odd. And apparently they were created from crystals, but not just them. And each of those represent a race, right? We had one from each race, I believe. Everything was created from crystals. In the beginning, there was a crystal. You remember that part?
Yep.
You remember that part that they tell you like 7 times in this game?
Every single time there's a new expansion that you're working on.
Yeah. It's in the beginning. And you know what? It says it like 4 times in Rise of the Zilart. It like texts it out and said it like in the beginning of the game, it starts with the speech, right, from the guy.
Right.
And then it does the speech again, and then later it just doesn't even give you the speech. It just gives it to you in the text box at the bottom, and it's like, oh, God. It's bad enough. It's a video. We gotta read it? Jeez. And this text box that makes my spine slide out of my ass out of boredom. Just get so relaxed that I turn inside out from the boringness
How does
of it.
that work?
I don't know, but I'm poking out during these things.
You turtle-headed?
Yeah. So that was kind of an interesting thing. Everything created out of the crystals. Also another thing that, it's fairly common. Crystals are love. Crystals are life, And this is where we are urged by the Dawnmaidens to return to the epic Delphux Tower to stop the Zilart princes.
Luckily, I think it was in our second half of our Bastok missions, we did get a Delphux Tower key.
We did.
And we skipped out on all floors.
Yes, we did.
For Delphux Tower, thank God.
Yeah, Delphux Tower is messed up, man. That's not a fun place, really.
It's just fucking huge. I'm sure we talked about it on the 11 review. But that thing is just... There's a reason. I mean, it's not actually called Delphux Tower, guys. It has a different name, but it has earned the name Delphux Tower.
Yes, it has. We've got some great names for the areas in this game. So anyway, we go there.
Cumshot Highlands.
Cumshot Highlands. Yeah, that one's my personal favorite. So Aldo, one of the the important people in the game.
Yeah, he's an important NPC.
His sister Verena apparently was taken over by Ealdnarch, who is a Zilart, and he's able to tap into her memory. Sorry, guys, I was getting pretty hot. To get a hold of the memory of the ancients, which apparently reactivates Delphux Tower. So the Delphux Tower that we know isn't even on. This is it in like its unplugged form.
It's activated by memories.
Yes, and of course, after he takes this from her to reactivate Delphux, casts her aside, and he teleports to Tulia. Then we head back to Nog and find out that we need cerulean crystals to place into the Hall of the Gods, which is the area. It's a beautiful area in Final Fantasy XI.
It's probably my favorite area that I've come across so far in FF11. We've seen some cool areas in Zilart, and we saw some cool areas in Rise of Promathia so far.
Oh yeah, there's some really cool ones in Chains of Promathia.
Yeah, and so Rise of Promathia, Jesus Christ,
another race.
Yeah, exactly. And we actually saw Hall of the Gods
last time when we played
FF11, but it's actually a Zilart area.
Yeah, it was in. It's like right inside Romave, I believe, is where it is.
Yeah,
that fucking Romave is sick.
And it looks like a giant cathedral with these huge statues. I mean, it's kind of a lower res version of what we've seen in Shadow of the Colossus, like that kind of thing. Yeah,
that big ass.
So for how kind of ugly the FF11 game and experience are, there are rays of light, and Hall of the Gods is one of them. I think it's a very cool looking area.
Yeah, I mean, they throw in a statue of Nuborius and El Husk on either side at the very end, and it'll be complete.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
I'd have no complaints at all. So anyway, once he teleports to Tulia. So the crystals. The reason why they're shattered and why we had to go collect all these different chunks is apparently the Zilart wanted to divide the power of the crystals into smaller chunks. Because it's you can create some serious problems. I mean, these things are they were used to create the whole existence of Vana'Diel.
Yeah,
right?
they're basically big nuclear reactors.
They are, yes, they are nuclear power, as it were. And this guy really wants us to defeat the Zilart. This dude, Vana'Diel is his name. Vana'Diel, who is a Dawnmaiden, explains that they divided it, like we said, to divvy out the power. And when they divided it, that's when the life was created. That's right. Because of the reaction of that division of the crystals, it created all of life. And they want us to go kill the Zilart and release them,
fuck them
from their binds. Yeah, the Zilart are dicks.
Yeah.
Let's be clear here. Now, this is where the game gets really awesome. This is the part that I loved. We go to Alalof. These names.
Dude, they're fucking tough.
These names.
I'm not going to blame you.
Alalof Amphitheater in Tuluia, and we fight the Archangels. There is a way to get the Archangels all in one fight, but we have to have a new moon, I believe, in the game. Is it new or full? It's full.
A full moon.
A full moon in the game, and they will all appear at this fountain. It was a ways away from a full moon in the game, though, so we had to go through
I was
this.
like, hey, you want to get up at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Get this done?
Nah.
Because that's when the next full moon is.
Yeah.
Look at this special website that has to do with Vana'Diel's clock.
Yeah.
God, I can't believe that's a thing.
I think that's awesome that it's a thing. It's kind of nuts, though, because they used to have certain quests that would pop, like, based on Japanese days. So, like, it would suck ass for people in North America. They're like, fuck, I have to be there at, like, midnight their time? Like, oh, my God. So anyway, we go fight all the Archangels. Lion, thank God she's back, eventually joins up with us and invites us on a hot cruise once all this shit blows over. She wants to travel the world with me, and I will oblige. So when the player reaches the core of Tuluia, Lion, Zed, another character from the original FF11 story, and Aldo are already battling Ealdnarch, Zilart, but of course he whoops their asses because he is fucking powerful.
And his name is not Minzara.
No, Minzara would have killed them well before we got there. We're offered one last chance at joining him in paradise, which I desperately tried to accept.
It's like, paradise sounds good, right?
Yeah, I'll join. And he's like, oh, you're making a mistake. I'm like, no, I'll join. I will join you.
The game doesn't give you the choice.
No, there's no choice. So, of course, we deny. We flip him off. We go all Braveheart mode and like show him our wangs, and he just gets pissed, and then we fight. This is like a multi-staged fight. I think we fought him like 2 or 3 times.
It's twice, yeah.
Each time, there's one of us dead by the end. And I think we were rezzing Joe, but then like he was still dead at the end. Like it was like you were starting to come up, and then
someone was rezzing me, and the guy died. Like we killed him.
Oh,
yeah. So
that's what it was.
I once again died on the final boss.
He hit hard.
This is a pattern, yeah.
This guy hit hard, and in his last moments, he tries to restart the crystal line before everything's completed, before everything's won again. And of course, as we know, the fucking crystal is insanely unstable, much like nuclear items. What the fuck? There's a little bug on the table here, and it's going to blow everything up. This guy's final move is to destroy everything in the world, right?
Right.
This is when Lion goes all freaking Judge Zect mode on us in 12. Goes Redis and just dives into the core to stop everything. Yevnoir appears and kind of like pulls Ealdnarch back into the crystal. He like summons him back. He's like, all right, you're done, dude. You can't. You got fucked. Just come on home, and he does. The Zilart master takes off. And this is kind of a sad moment. I mean, Lion is Lion
the best
is,
part of FF11.
The best part. The upskirts galore. I mean, it's amazing. Lion is just, she's a good looking character. They did really well. They did a really great animation.
It's called
for her.
hentai, Caleb.
Yeah, it's called hentai. I enjoy her, and she's fucking gone. And of course, we have to go back and tell her dad, Gilgamesh, the pirate man, that she's gone. We go back, we tell him that. He's like, oh, it's not a big deal. She was adopted. I don't even fucking care. And he seems to kind of shrug it off. And Verena, the girl who was used earlier to pull back the memories, to control the beasts of the world and activate Delphux, right? She states that she can sense Lion's presence in this world, and she does not believe that Lion is dead.
She's not. She's in Rhapsodies of Vana'Diel. So.
Oh, yeah. We know she's in Rhapsodies because we fucking played it. I didn't know this shit happened, though.
No.
At all. I had no idea that
crazy
Lion went away for a little while. And who knows when she'll come back, but...
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I was...
Yeah, Aldo's reaction to her death and Org's or Gilgamesh's reaction to her death is... it was lackluster. They were just like, oh, sad.
Yeah. They didn't seem crushed. I mean, maybe they just knew, though. Maybe they knew. It was like, oh, that lion, so melodramatic. To dive into the crystal and pretend to be dead. How many times is she going to pull this? Maybe it's something like that. Of course, Verena says that she's alive, and we know she's alive because we played like 4, 5,
maybe
6
she returned. Maybe it was Rhapsodies of Vana'Diel where she returned.
Maybe that's way down the line.
I don't know. I might have to just rewatch those cutscenes.
We're definitely going to have to when we get to Rhapsodies, because we went through and did enough quests to get a fourth trust, an NPC character to fight alongside us, and she was there, and I didn't think anything of it. I had no idea. I was just like, oh, there's Lion. That's cool. I love Lion. Yeah. It's like, fucking, she's been dead for years.
So, Schweiss, how does this... I know we had our gameplay problems. I think we had just getting back into the game.
Oh, we were
to the motherfucking
rusty.
thing.
The map was rusty. We were rusty. I was like, where's this place?
The controls right.
Which book is this? Like, there's so much of that on those fucking YouTube export videos.
Being like, oh, I'm only level 73. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on 5 hours early and grind.
Yeah.
It was rough for the first probably half of Zilart. And then after that, it's like, all right.
Well, getting used to it, yeah.
I'm back into it.
Yeah. Our party still does get lost a lot.
We do get lost, and we do get turned around, and my macros were gone. Like, none of them were there anymore. I spent some time making macros last time.
Are you sure? Like, you've scrolled through every book on both the control and the alts?
Yeah, there's none.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I didn't have...
Did you uninstall 11?
No.
Oh.
No, it was still there.
What the fuck?
I don't fucking know. Yours were there, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Bandrams weren't there.
I need to redo mine, because I have better spells than I had.
Yeah, we had people that some of theirs were and some of us weren't.
That's crazy.
I don't know why. That's crazy. Maybe it's because I stopped paying for it like immediately. I was like, out.
Yeah, I had mine on for a few months.
Yeah.
And then let it go finally, and then brought it back.
Right. So it was a bit rusty. Honestly, for me, though, this expansion definitely improved the overall experience of the game.
Yes.
The story in this is way more interesting. We're finding out about how everything's created a little deeper. We're finding out about,
these ancient civilizations.
Yeah, ancient civilizations. All that's interesting, very deep, and I'm like, oh, God,
the Tonberry twist was my favorite twist.
The Tonberry thing is pretty legit. I liked that, and I actually liked Lion in the end, sacrificing herself.
Yeah, that was a cool scene.
Obviously, she's not dead, 'cause she's in Rhapsodies, but I was not expecting that shit to happen at all. Compared
to the missions that we did for Bastok and Final Fantasy XI stuff, the quests are less confusing, which is nice. They're still sometimes confusing, but they're less confusing than they used to be. The mazes seem to be more bearable than they were before. The fetch quests also are more bearable than they were before. I mean, partially because we're way over leveled for the areas we're in. So we're going through them like like we're slicing a cake.
Right,
Like,
we're killing stuff, waiting for people to like get back from grabbing water. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna lay waste to everything I can see, and
I'll get 63 experience.
Yeah,
and it'll be nice.
Total out of all 10 people that I kill.
And getting from place to place, they've actually, since we logged off of FF11, they've added waypoints.
Yeah, there's more crystals. There's one inside Babstock right next to the dealer for the the quests.
Records of Eminence?
Records of Eminence. Yeah, that crystal wasn't there. They're adding like stuff to make it even easier to get around in this game. They're like, please play. You can make it here in not 10 hours, Now,
I would like to say a caveat to this in our experience with this. I mean, we got through this thing, even if we didn't have Minzara, who is incredible. We got two players in our party that are level 99. If we didn't have them, this would still be a relatively easy expansion for us because we're over leveled.
Yeah, we would have taken longer on the fights, but that's about it.
Yeah, I believe that I mean, there's ways to look this up, but I don't want to right now. I believe that when this game first came out in the United States, which was in 2003, Rise of the Zilart was part of it, and also the level cap at the time was like level 60, right? And so we're going through these areas at level 73 plus. Now we're in the 80s, all of us. And it's kind of like nothing. But I know at the time that this game came out in the United States, this would have been a really kind of a challenge. In fact, I've read reviews online where people are like, "Yeah, this expansion's pretty tough."
Yeah.
In fact, Chains of Promathia is even more so. They're even more on this is hard. This expansion is dick.
Yeah. Rise of the Zilart, real quick, raised the level cap to 65.
Okay, 65, yeah.
Which is still, I mean, I'm 90. We're going through this thing, like, worlds above where the cap was. This is the cap at the time. This is like, you're not even there yet when you hit this up normally.
Right.
Unless you were us and you're just like, all right, let's get to the max and then log off. Then come back, super powerful. And yeah, it's created a very different experience for us, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah, it's fast. It's fast right now.
Honestly, I would have probably enjoyed it. I wish I would have played it back in the day and actually felt the pain.
I don't want to have felt that pain.
It's impossible to duplicate.
We're going to feel some pain in the future. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Wings of the Goddess is supposed to be a really hard expansion.
Yeah.
And Minzara says some stuff in Treasures of Urgot are hard for him, and he's level 99.
Really?
So, yeah.
We're going to need you, man. You need to stick around.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens challenge-wise with these games. I mean, we only have... God, how many, let's see, August, September, right?
Yeah.
So we have, 70-something days before Final Fantasy 15 is released?
Yeah, something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty soon. That's coming up.
Yeah,
man.
it is coming up. And it's like, well, hopefully Wings of the Goddess isn't that hard. But we'll see. Is there anything else about this expansion you want to touch on?
No, I mean, I know it added some classes in the very beginning. I mean, obviously for us, that wasn't a thing because the game came out with this expansion within it. I mean, there was the samurai, the ninja, and the dragoon.
Okay.
I know a couple of the players we played with have played ninja, and that's supposed to be a pretty fun class. So, I mean, expansion's always going to have extra content. I think it's cool to bring in new classes, even though they weren't really new to us. I haven't messed with any of those classes, though, and I don't know if I will.
We actually sort of, I know this is where a lot of the confusion came from a few months ago. We sort of have played more content in Rise of the Zilart because the actual first FF11 was only ranks 1 through 6, and then Rise of the Zilart has the Rise of the Zilart expansion missions, which we just did.
Right.
And then it also had the missions of 6 through 10.
Right, so technically we played like
Bastok missions.
Half of it before when we reviewed FF11.
Yeah, sort of. So it was actually kind of a huge expansion. I mean, we got it automatically in the States when it came out. But,
right, yeah. But for Japan, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
There was a lot of content that was coming out from this game. Of course, we're pampered with our having every piece of content ever because we're coming at it super late.
Coming at the end of FF11.
Right, yeah. It's Twilight years, as if you will.
Yeah.
No, overall, I think the areas are improved. I think the story's greatly improved over FF11's main story. The Bastock missions, at the very least, that got pretty boring. We're just fucking diplomats that get fucked over and everyone like hates us. In this one, we're not quite as hated, although we are hated a little bit in the next one. People trying to jail us all the fucking time, but we'll talk about that later. Overall, though, I think it was a pretty solid experience. I'm glad we got back into this. I'm glad we have some of you guys out there that are willing to play it with us. It's been a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Okay, Schweiss, so the ranking is going to be this way. So we're going to deal with ranking all the FF11 storylines. So would you put Bastock or, the FF11 story missions? What would you put first? Zilart or the original missions?
Zilart's way better.
Okay, all right. I got the same ranking on mine as well.
There's no contest there. I'm much more intrigued by what's happening in this game, or in this expansion of this game, than the original storyline. Yeah, there's still some crap missions. Don't get me wrong. There's some fetch quests that are like fucking annoying, but it seems to have more purpose. So.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm interested in, Schweiss?
What's that?
I'm interested in questions.
Questions for us. We would like to hear from you. You morons. Don't contact us on Twitter. Get on and ask your questions. We'll answer them within a week. This is the question segment. Ask and you will receive.
Oh man, we missed one for 10-2 last mission question.
Well, we actually had a couple reviews that came in a little late. I mean, people didn't get the memo, I guess.
Yeah, we did kind of...
that we were recording 10-2 last mission early.
So anyway, this one is from Shinru on the forums. It's titled Missed 10-2 Last Mission Questions and also Audio Drama. Ooh, that's interesting. Heard you guys are moving on to the FF11 expansions, but I was wondering if you were going to do an episode on the FF10 10-2 HD bonus audio drama that was included on the disc.
Yes.
Yes, we will. Stuff like that we're going to do.
We got to wait for openings.
Yeah, openings. If we're going through these expansions as quick as we are, we're going to be reviewing the expansions.
But FF15 is going to be a long one. It's going to be a couple months wait.
So we're going to have
a review of 15.
We're going to have some episodes in there. We've got some 7 content that we can hit up. We've got the 10 content. You guys we'll get it. We'll get it out there. Here's his lost question on a last mission. Law. Thoughts on the final boss? Did you have a hard time? Yes, I did. Until I realized that I could make myself confuse-proof, and then no, I did not.
I didn't, because Schweiss told me that getting confuse-proof... I thought it was going to be an item the whole time. I was like, geez, I could really use confuse-proof.
Yeah.
But then Schweiss told me how to get confuse-proof.
Yeah, and
it was
you just cast Demi on it, and you just wreck its face.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool design for a boss, and I think we did touch on the boss a little bit. It's like a dragon thing with like a bunch of heads.
Yeah, it's cool looking.
Yeah, it was pretty darn cool. Yeah.
Did we start enjoying the game a lot more near the end once you got the hang of everything?
Yes.
I wouldn't say near the end necessarily, because near the end is when shit started to get tanky as fuck, and he would just sit there and wail on it for like 5 minutes to kill something.
I enjoyed it the most near the end. The last 20 floors.
The last 20 floors, yeah, but the last 3 were just fucking bullshit.
Oh, the little puzzle?
No, it was more just how much damage I had to deal to people. It was taking forever to kill stuff. I wasn't just dooming everything that I came across because I wanted experience.
I doom things out of the way. Sometimes.
But I did find it an enjoyable experience overall, I'd say.
Okay.
If you even slightly liked Last Mission, he highly recommends Final Fantasy Fables on Wii. It's basically the best FF roguelike dungeon crawler game, and it's very polished. And the mechanics are great. Gameplay is a lot of fun. Plus, an amazing soundtrack.
Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind if ever I finish these real Final Fantasies.
Yeah, we'll get into the Final Fantasy Fables.
Yeah, but
Clearly
that's-
a lie.
Here's the thing. Final Fantasy Fables, not technically a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just called Chocobo Dungeon.
Yep. Wrecked. Shinra,
Sorry.
wrecked.
Sorry, Shinra.
All right, so we got another one here.
Maybe
from,
at some point, though. I mean, I guess if it's anything like that, that'd be interesting to see what Chocobo Dungeon is like.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Got one from Cloud here titled Collector's Editions. How do you feel about collector's items in video games? For example, some people are livid that more copies of the FF15 Collector's Edition were produced. I personally can't comment. I could care less about collectibles. So how do we feel about collector's editions overall?
Well, there's kind of like a decision you have to make, and it has to do with like how awesome the collection is versus how much the collection costs.
Right, and there's also how much do you love the series?
Yeah,
if it's a series you're big on, then you'll probably be more willing to do the collector's edition for. I mean, Resident Evil 5, I bought the collector's edition for because I loved 2 of the games in the series at the very least, a ton, 2 and 4, and I felt, all right, I'll do it for 5 if it was a good game. I did the same thing for God of War. God of War 1 and 2, amazing. God of War 3, still pretty good. Collector's edition. 15, being mad that they made more collector's editions is kind of ridiculous.
Well,
there's still
for those
not
who
very
got them
many.
initially, they would be kind of like, oh, well, it's 15,000 less special.
Yeah, but Jesus, that's still like nothing.
No, it's fucking, yeah, I wish
They're
I
already
wish I could do
gone
that.
again. They're still rare as fuck. So I think those people are just being babies, and they just wanted to resell it like fucking dogs, like scalper.
Honestly,
fucks.
like he is kind of right though. I mean, you'll get the same content. There is something though, I think, especially with people like myself who are still attached to physical items. There is something about that makes the collector's edition more special.
Yeah.
Than just having a digital edition of the game or just a regular edition of the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And if you like the game enough or you're excited enough, just go for it. It's not a big deal. As long as it's worth it to you. I mean, there are some collector's edition, like a fucking World of Final Fantasy I'm looking at, and
you're going,
I'm like, that's kind of steep. Maybe $20 less, and I might consider it, but I don't want to drop $120 on that.
yeah.
That's a little too much for me. It's not a game that I'm like, waking up and with cold sweats, shouting its name in the night, wet dreaming it up over. So it's not something I'm going to toss $120 at.
Right.
All right, so we got one last one here from Taku Amazuki titled Hardest Things to Accept. There are plenty of things that can throw us off in story and in gameplay. Some things take you time to adjust or get over an event that has just happened. I was wondering if you guys had trouble accepting the FF universe. I'll make a list of topics for this question. I'm not asking for the top, but maybe just a few that come to mind. Plot twists. Throwing us off. I'd say the era thing. And the first time I played it, it kind of threw me off. I wasn't expecting that. The FF8 orphanage stuff, that threw me off.
Yeah, that one's bullshit.
That one was like a punch to the taint too. I was like, ooh, that is dumb. Let's see, what other plot twists really?
Okay, this is what I'm the first thing I thought about when he says things that are hard to accept in Final Fantasy, and it takes me a bit to be like, what the fuck does that question even mean? But I got it. Something that's hard for me to accept in Final Fantasy or any story really is like an unrealistic character behavior.
Yeah.
So not only everybody standing in a circle and going like, oh yeah, our memories were erased, and also we were all orphans and didn't know each other and we knew each other at one point and somehow all forgot it. That's that's bullshit. But like people standing up and like doing their kung fu on the boat, and then another guy going chicken wuss. That's another thing where I'm like, no one would fucking say chicken wuss. No one would say chicken wuss.
Yeah.
Or you spoony bard or whatever other fucking stupid phrases we can come up with that now we just laugh at.
Spoony Bard's amazing, so fuck off.
Okay, all right. You can think it's amazing if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's scenes that make me uncomfortable the most, and they do come out of an uncomfortable. I mean, it could be just lost in translation type stuff.
Yeah, it could be.
But weird character behavior that I don't understand. That I'm like, guys, stop laughing at the. Yeah, weird character behavior that's hard for me to accept. I think is probably the biggest hurdle I have in these games.
Wait, stop laughing.
Oh my god. Yeah,
what about
shit like that?
What about the other laugh?
That one's cool.
Yeah, that one's totally fine.
And it's harder in the 3D games than it is in the 2D games.
Yeah, I mean it's more realistic feeling, but then there are those moments that do jar you. And speaking of that, the second one is characters. I think we've hit that pretty heavily right now. The characters, the child characters that you always bitch about, that I also don't really like, that were then replaced by the airheaded female characters, the Rikus, the selfies.
Those are still the child characters.
Yeah, I guess. They're all kids, though, is the thing. It's not the literal child, the Krele 7-year-old. It's someone that's a year younger, yet a million times more idiotic and simplistic in their thinking. Those characters get kind of old. It's like, oh god, this is the one that I'm just going to be like, fuck, I can't do it. Even in 13, you've got Hope. The worst character in the game, I would say. Just easily, to me at least. I know 13.2 is supposed to redeem him in a lot of ways, but we haven't gotten to that yet. So right now, he's a shit character to me. 12, Vaughn and Pinello, they don't really mean much. They're not as annoying as Riku. Nowhere. It's not even close. But still, there's some characters that just, they do throw me off, and it kind of takes me out of it. It's just like, all right, it's like this, they've got this formula. They have to have this character in the game. Like, all right, well, we got the emo guy, the guy that's kind of a dick, but everyone's still following around. We got the hot chick. We got the other chick that's not as hot that he wants. And then we got the dude with the gun that's a badass that no one's going to play as. And then we got the chick character, the silly one. It's like they got this formula, and sometimes it does it's like it gets a little old occasionally.
Well, we're gonna have four dudes in the next one.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll swing the other way completely.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I guess Prompto is kind of the kiddish one already.
Yeah, I know he is, but he doesn't seem too bad. But
yeah.
I'm holding out to judgment.
Gameplay wise, I would say a slow game.
Yeah,
that's the worst. So 9 was kind of tough to get used to. 11 was also tough to get used to. And then games that have stupid battle mechanics, like the tabbing in Final Fantasy 11, or the junction system in FF8, or fucking inns that charge you up the ass in Final Fantasy 2.
Yeah, that's horrible gameplay in 2. I mean, that was even probably more of a complaint, or something that bugs me more to this day, than the broken leveling system in 2. Because by the end, the leveling system kind of started to work. Because I started to get hit a good chunk, and then I'd gain HP, and then I'd gain strength. I'm like, okay, it's working in the final dungeon area. It's like I am leveling up like I should. The fucking inns are never working in that game. They're just jacking those fucking prices up. They have the utmost faith that you will.
It's like a Motel 6, and they're like charging $680 a night.
Yeah, you're like, oh! And they must be so confident that you're just going to go down there and save the world. Like, that's the only reason why they'd keep ripping you off.
You got
like,
treasure, right?
Yeah, they're like, you guys are fine. You'll make it. Just keep paying out the ass, and we know you'll be fine.
They're charging up the ass for poor orphans.
Yeah, they're kids. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Shameless in that game.
I know you guys are going to have sex up there.
Yeah, you damn kids. Sex and drugs. That's all it is with you.
So, yeah, $502, please.
Yeah. Let's see. The last thing he's got here is field/ overworld. Now, this is one I'm gonna bring FF9 into. A lot of people bitch saying that the FF games ended up becoming super linear. Now, don't get me wrong, 10 and 13 are linear as fuck, especially 13. Literally a hallway for most of the game, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
9 is very similar to that too. 9, you get the overworld map. You're like, oh, cool, I'm free. I can go places. No, you fucking can't.
Nope.
There's a lot of areas where you'll walk over to, and they're like, oh, you can't come in here. And you're like, oh, well, shit, I can't go there. And it's like, all right, well, let's go here. And you're like, oh, I found it. Yeah, you found it because it's the area that you can go into. It's like a fabricated sense of open worldness.
I think it's been in the series since number 3.
Yeah, 7 has it looser, but it still exists. There's still spots that you cannot get to without
all the
certain
other
vehicles.
games have it much looser. Yeah, there's usually 1 or 2 spots that you can explore, but that's usually it.
And 12 is, I think, loose as fuck. Maybe even too much. I know you don't think that, but you're wrong. There's spots where you can literally skip bosses by going into areas that are level 70. You can go through the Feywood and skip like the Tyrant boss, or no, the Elder Worm boss, the like green dude. Now, the area that you have to go through to skip it is fucking insane. So you will just get slaughtered if you get hit, but if you don't, you can skip a fucking boss. But even then, though, there's spots you can't get into. Even in 12, even in the ones that are more modern but still wide open, there's still that false sense of overworld ability, and that's something that it's not that it bugs me in the game, it's the perception of the games that kind of bothers me, where everyone's like, oh, it's such a hallway. It's like, well, you're right, it is a hallway in 13. There's no getting around that for a lot of it. But you got to remember that all these other games just seem open.
They're making that thing the number 1 complaint.
Yeah,
when in fact that's a very with give and take. That's a very common thing in Final Fantasy.
Right, the hallway.
Is to have the hallway.
The hallway's just way wider in 9. It's huge.
Yeah, they're better at hiding the hallway.
Right, yeah.
But the hallway is there. The hallway exists.
Yeah.
There's an invisible hand.
You're right. And I would say that is kind of crappy within the game itself even. Like, there are RPGs out there that you can just explore wherever you want.
Yeah, the only thing, I mean, he has this section as field and overworld. The only game that comes to mind when it comes to ones I don't like are like Final Fantasy 11, where it's just like, it's huge. It takes forever to fucking walk from one side to the other the first time you're in it, and it's just bad. It's just too big.
Yeah.
So maybe I need some of that linearity.
Right.
Some of that propulsion to get you through.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Especially when like your airship is having problems getting over something. It's like, that's where I draw the line. That's the linear. That's blocking me. FF3, I would say, is one that did that. You had to get that little thing to just break through. Fucking drill. Insanity. Just destroying a mountain range with this drill on your ship. That's crazy. The heat coming off of that drill must have just been insane. These people should have melted.
I bet, yeah.
Anyway, his example, he says, one example for you guys may be the FF4 storyline near the end where everyone starts coming back. Yeah, but we beat that into the dust. I heard you guys say that you don't like that because it dulls the sacrifice and the emotion behind it a bit. Maybe avoid 10-2. You guys have a lot to say about that recently, but I understand if there's one thing you got to mention. We didn't really bring up 10-2. That's another dead horse that
I feel like I've kicked it to death.
Yeah, we've stomped it into the dust.
Yeah.
Let's see. There are a couple responses to this one, and this is a good question, so I'll read these. Cloud says, really interesting question. Never thought of this. Number 1, I just don't accept 10-2 in general, albeit a few good things in its story. Number 2, I mostly don't acknowledge Advent Children. Making Cloud emo was annoying, as well as retconning the fact that Tifa and Cloud were definitely growing together romantically in the second half, and it certainly seemed like they had sex under the high wind. They did.
It totally does.
Rufus suddenly being alive is rather what the fuck. That is really dumb. I like Rufus in Advent Children, though. He still shouldn't have been alive. No. That guy was dead, man. That guy was dead. Fucking whole floor just engulfed in flame. The windows burst out. The flame shot like 20 feet out of the window. He's fucking cooked or launched or both. Number 3, I do not accept any of the on the way to a smile stories. They turn everyone into pansies. Obscenely emotional, plagued by extreme doubt and depression. Nanaki, Cloud, Tifa the Turks are really good guys, etc. Number 4, I don't know if this counts in FF10. It's unclear to me this day where/what the Zanarkand at the beginning of FF10 is, or how Titus left it, or Sin/Orin came to it exactly.
That's a good question.
It's weird. The Zanarkand in the beginning is the Zanarkand from the past. Titus left it because he is not actually real.
The Dream Zanarkand is a place, though.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's just a dream. Zanarkand was a place, and the Faith are remembering it as it was. Right. Titus was brought from there. Titus never actually was Titus. He was Shuyin, and they fucked it up bad and gave him James Arnold Taylor's voice. And
well, Shuyin has James Arnold Taylor's voice.
Does he actually?
Yeah, he does.
Really?
Yeah, you couldn't tell?
It's pretty close. He just does it a little bit differently, I think.
Yeah, I think that's by design.
No, I'm sure it is. So they bring him back, and that's how he's transported. It's still really weird to me, though, because there's like Orin was there. He's both. I don't know.
Orin is also a dream.
Yeah, Orin is also a dream. Well, he's dead too. But how can he be dead if he was just a dream? Unless the dreams are manifested physically, which they are. Okay, that's how it is. Okay. Zanarkand was in the past. It was destroyed, and that's what made Sin, because they're the leader of Zanarkand, Yevon, right?
Yes.
Created Sin to punish the people who destroyed him, the Machina. Everyone's dead. Everyone in Zanarkand is fucking dead, okay? They're remnants, they're dreams of the Faith, and they're pulled from Dream Zanarkand into Spira, which is a real world. Spira exists in its current state. These guys are memories manifested into physical form. Orin's physical form died. His dream form is dead. So he is like double not real in this game. So he's probably more real because of the double negative thing.
Okay.
And, yeah, at the end, they stop dreaming and Titus disappears.
Right.
Orin's already dead, so he doesn't give a fuck. It is confusing, though. It's really odd, and...
there is a YouTube video called Final Fantasy X Explained.
It still doesn't explain everything to me, though.
No.
It does a good job of it, and a lot of what I'm saying is accurate and from that. But even then, it's like, well, how come Sin is here? How come they're... Like, what, is it a loop? It's confusing. It doesn't bug me too much, though. I kind of like to have a little bit of mysticism in the games where it's like, I'm not sure. It's not explained because it's bullshit. There is no explanation. At least not one that I 100% know of.
Plot holes aren't a big deal if your emotional story is strong enough to keep you going through the thing.
Yeah. And is it really a plot hole, or is it just something we don't understand?
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
It might be something that there is a reason, but they just never revealed it, which seems plot hole-esque, but I don't know. It's a great point. Good point, Cloud. Lightsage says, I definitely can't accept the audio drama they slapped onto the HD release of FF10 to 10.2. I refuse to accept it as canon, and if anyone else says that it is, I will literally bury my head in the sand. I mean, yeah, FF10.2 story would be rated at a 2 out of 10 at best, but the audio drama is pretty much just some self-insert fanfiction that Square found on fanfiction.net. How did this get on any game disc? It is canon. Sorry, it sucks. But that's how it is. God, bury your head.
It hurts, doesn't it?
It does. We know your pain, Lightsage. I've fucking looked at some of it, and I'm like, oh.
We looked at some of Lightsage's pain?
No, the fucking audio drama. And the writing and the... What?
Okay, I don't know.
You don't know?
So we'll find out in the future.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, yeah, we'll find out. Yes.
Okay. Well, Schweiss, do we have some iTunes reviews?
We do. we got
Fabula, your guide.
We got a good chunk of reviews this week, guys. Thank you so much for these. First couple I'm going to read here are from Canada.
Hey?
Oh, Canada. This first one is titled Beautiful Nostalgia. A 5-star review by Toronto Douglas. I stumbled across this while vainly searching iTunes for some new, good Final Fantasy music, and once again found nothing. Nothing. I don't like podcasts. Print journalist, I prefer to read, but when I saw this on the page, I thought I'd give it a shot. I was blown away. The top 10 underrated moments in Final Fantasy had chills running down my spine. I'm gonna see my mother. Nice! But to also mention Sephiroth's pacing around blew my mind. Listening through a bunch of others now, and I'm totally hooked. Reliving all the Final Fantasy titles with these guys has scratched an itch I didn't know I had.
That's the itch for podcasts.
That's right. The big old UFFD is what we call it. And as a professional with a family, pets, mortgage, and a slew of other responsibilities, as well as new games to play, this may be my last chance to go through most of the FFs again. So thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for your review, man.
Yes,
That's beautiful.
Thanks a lot.
We got another one here from Polly B604. Great show, and the hosts are awesome.
Okay, that pretty much sums it up, right?
Yeah, it does. I don't think we even need to read the rest of these, but we do have one here from Ireland.
Ireland. Oh,
Say,
I don't want to piss this guy off.
just do it. Just do it. It's a tiny one.
I got some Irish in me, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Thorough. It has a lot of heart.
Thank you.
Stars.
5 stars. Awesome show from Michael CC3.
Heart, stars, horseshoes, clovers, and blue moons.
That's beautiful. Oh, man. We got another one here.
Rainbows and red balloons.
We got another one here that's going to be a UK accent, and it's going to be good.
All right, you got this.
Yeah. Addictive Listening
Oh, yeah.
by Hannah Hunk, July 23rd. I'm not going to say where I'm from because you'll probably massacre my accent. Really enjoyed listening to episodes as I do monotonous jobs at work.
Right.
Makes my time fly by.
Right.
Love the chemistry between the guys. Rude at times, but not shockingly so. Joe is the happy-go-lucky one. Woo! And Kaleb is the more mysterious, cooler one. I'm sure Caleb's voice had broken since early episodes. Favorite episode has to be your lackluster but hilarious review of 10-2. Keep it up the good work, guys. P.S. Glad you fired the other Kaleb. Well, we did fire the other Kaleb and hired him on another show.
Yeah, it's on Nude Clan. It's the greatest show ever.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you like us and you like our ability to bring you lackluster reviews, apparently, please, God, check out Nude Clan. We have one more segment left. What the fuck is it?
Oh, shit. What is it? Questions. Oh, yeah. Questions from us to you.
Yeah. Guys, so this week's
what was
question,
all that noise? Fuck.
I don't know. This fucking drop is corrupt. I'm gonna have to delete it.
Goddamn.
I know.
Neighbors.
Psychos. So this week's question from us to you is, has there ever been a Final Fantasy moment? A moment in the series, a moment in a game that's made you question your love of the series, of that particular game? This could be your first playthrough of a new Final Fantasy. This could be the second or third playthrough of FF7 where you realized, man, this train joke is just getting beaten into the fucking dirt. It could be anything. Has there ever been a moment where you've wanted to either quit that game because it's so ridiculous, so difficult, so hard to believe, or just you hated it? You fucking hated what happened. Has there ever been one that made you quit the game? And has there ever been one that made you question your love for this series?
Yeah.
And basically hole yourself up in your room and, think about what you've been doing the last 5 years. Let us know. Basically, Final Fantasy horror stories, things that go bump in the night.
Yeah. Speaking about bumping the night, we're fucking doing this at bullshit o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's like 1 right now.
Oh, God, and I gotta mix it afterwards, too.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, let's wrap this up, Schweiss. You can go to youtube.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. Find us there.
Twitch.tv/Ultima Final Fantasy. See me streaming Final Fantasy 11 Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Yes,
this
for
week.
the most part. This week, yes. Facebook.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. You can also support us on Patreon. $1 a month gives you the episodes as soon as we're done mixing them. And last but not least, our website, ultimafinalfantasy.com. And if you want, you can tweet me at Joseph Vigolier.
Me and the show at UFF Podcast. And another way you guys can support us, we do have an Amazon link on the site. Click through it, order your shit. We get a small percentage, a little kickback. Doesn't cost you anything. It's awesome.
Yeah.
A few bucks on it.
Exactly.
It's a good way to do it.
And we are going to have a new website up in this next week, guys. So if you get like a weird moment where the site changes and you have to re-log in, sorry.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to
It's
create
for
a
the
new
better
account.
good.
It is. This will increase speeds and efficiency. And please forgive us, Branny, because you just barely came back to the new forums. And they're going to be fucking gone. A week after you're back. We're glad you're back, though. We've missed you. We haven't talked to you for a long time.
Hopefully the forum posts make it over.
They should, yeah, from what
should.
we've seen. But
yeah, sometimes there have been bugs when transferring stuff.
Look forward to a faster, cleaner site.
Yes,
very soon.
All right, Schweiss. I think that's gonna be it. We'll
should I cue the ending?
Yeah, you should probably fucking cue the ending. We'll see you next week.
Enjoy the grind.
This has been another production of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast. The show was produced by Joseph DeGolier and Caleb Schweiss, with music and editing by Joseph DeGolier, parodies and clips from their respective authors, of course. You can get all of our episodes as well as our Let's Plays at ultimafinalfantasy.com. You can also contact us on Twitter at UFF Podcast, as well as our contact page on our website. Be sure to subscribe and review our podcast. Your reviews may get read on the show, and look forward to the next episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast.